Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, I'm Diana Praptika, my student number 2520080. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you about speaking and listening strategies. So guys, as we know, we always find speaking and listening activities in this life, even in our daily life, right? And when we have a conversation with other people, we have to know what they're talking about, so we can give an appropriate feedback to them that matches with the context, the text form, the audience, or the situation of the conversation. So you have to know there are strategies that we can use in speaking and listening activities that will help us more understand about the topic of the conversation. So happy watching this video. Strategy number 1, predicting. Predicting is a strategy that can be used by speaker and listener. In predicting, they plan about what they want to say based on purpose, audience, and situation they face. For example, if we are having conversation in formal situation, maybe in meeting with coworkers, we will think about formal word as well, right? So it makes us sound polite and it matches with the situation. Strategy number 2, self-talk. Have you ever talking with yourself? Yeah, what is self-talk? So guys, self-talk is like process of listening and speaking to ourselves. So we matches our think and our action without verbalization. For example, when we are evaluating our action, is that already right or not? Maybe when we talk in English and we feel like there are still mispronunciation that we make, then we evaluate it so we can improve, we can more better in speaking. Strategy number 3, self-questioning. Self-questioning is when we are asking to ourselves. This is part of self-talk. In self-questioning, we clarify by ourselves about what we hear. We asking and analyzing about what we are listen. We analyze from one question to a more in-depth question, so that help us to understand something more. Strategy number 4, visualizing and creating images. In speaking and listening, we have to create images to help us in better understanding about the topic of the talking. Images can be shared orally, through drama, or as drawing or jotting. For example, when there are people who describe about handphone that helpful for us in learning English. For more understanding, we can create images like draw maybe, so we can more understand about the benefits of handphone. Strategy number 5, code switching. Code switching can be used by speaker to help the listener more understand about what they're talk. Usually, the speaker talk the second language and then switch into the first language. For example, when English teachers explain the material in the class, sometimes they switch English language into the student's native language. Maybe said like, okay, so we use past tense when telling something that has happened in the past. Jadi, kita menggunakan past tense ketika menceritakan sesuatu yang telah terjadi di masa lampau. That is code switching. Strategy number 6, determining importance. Determining importance in speaking and listening is when we selected the important information in talk. It includes selecting what kind of information that we want to remembering in short or long-term memory. For example, when we are talking about subject material, maybe then we kept the important point of the material in long-term memory. Just important point, because students can't remembering things in detail. Strategy number 7, paraphrasing and summarize. Paraphrasing is when the listener restate about the speaker talk in their way, like using their own sentences according to their understanding. Summarize is when we get and we make points about what people say to us. For example, when students doing presentation in the class and the audience get some points about the material, about the materials of the presentation, then we restate to the presenters to provide clarification. Strategy number 8, connecting. Connecting is when we connect our experience or our feelings to the topic of the talk. As the speaker and listener, we have to give attention and respond and care about the topic. So with making connection, we can share our experience, our feelings, or our knowledge that related to the topic. For example, when there is our friend that tell about their feeling, maybe they have a bad day, so we can making connection if we ever feel like that too. Strategy number 9, comparing and contrasting. This strategy allows students to make comparison with information they are receiving. They compare with the new information that they receive. For example, when they heard statement in presentation activity, then they compare with their information with said maybe like, how is this information different to what I have heard before? Or how is it different from what I already believe about this issue? Or why is their opinion different to mine? Something like that. Strategy number 10, inferring. Effective speaker and listener will make conclusion about their talk. This strategy allows students to move beyond the literal text and to make assumptions about matters that were not actually stated. Students can guess the meaning of the new word by using acoustic, vocal, or lexical information. For example, students guess the meaning of the new word with the tone or volume of the speaker. Strategy number 11, synthesizing. During the process of synthesis, students may be connecting, comparing, determining importance, posing questions, and creating images. This they do to keep track of their thinking and maintain meaning. This strategy allows students to build their own understanding about the topic of the talk. For example, students retell about what they have heard in speaking and listening activity. Strategy number 12. This is the last strategy called self-monitoring and self-correction. When listeners do not understand about the talk of the speaker, they will make repeating, recasting, paraphrasing, summarizing, and asking questions. It helps them to monitoring their understanding and to be able to make the appropriate correction to avoid misunderstanding. It's quite complex and relies on the effective use of the strategy previously discussed. For example, when students watch the presentation in the class, then they were doubt about their understanding. So they confirmed to the presenter to make sure it was correct or not. Okay guys, that was my explanation about the 12 strategies in speaking and listening. Thank you for watching my video. Hope this video is useful for you. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.